Craig, it feels like a long time since we've done this. That Belgium game feels like a lifetime ago. How good does it feel to get this squad out there now ahead of this Kazakhstan and Canada
No,
games?
it definitely feels like a long time. It's been a long summer, but yeah, definitely excited to get working again. And I mean that in the sense of group players and training and preparing for the game. Yeah, but it does feel like a long time.
I feel like this is always an interesting international window because obviously the transfer window is still open. There's been a lot of movements in terms of your players. My question is, have you got a season ticket for Wrexham yet? Because a number of players have made the move up there. Are you, in general, happy with the moves that some of your players have made?
I'm always definitely happy when players are playing, especially this stage of the season. Now, usually in pre-season, a lot of players do get game time because they share minutes. So I believe a lot of players will be in decent condition, but there is always one or two players, and I'm sure that's every international team that are unsure about their futures, and with the window still being open, it's not an ideal time because what it can take out you mentally can be a lot. Not knowing where you're going, not knowing where your family's moving. One move could be happening, then the next minute it doesn't. So it's never an ideal. But usually the players that I've always been, not just with Wales, but with everywhere, usually prepare themselves well, train well, and know if they're going into this international football. I talk from my own experience, know this game's come in, so my conditioning needs to be to where I need it to be able to have an impact. So yeah, it's never ideal, but it's so common this time of year.
A couple of players that are missing, you've spoken already about Ramsey, Ethan Ampadu. I think Wales fans are desperate to see him back in that Wales shirt. But looking at the squad you've picked, you've spoken at length about having those options, about bringing young players in. There are 5 players, 19 and under. It's how important is that okay, you've got the I'm not going to say the older ones and the experienced ones, but the fact that you've got those options coming through.
Yeah, we need to have options on a consistent basis, and there are areas that's been here since I've been here. I have to be honest. Even when I look through the squad planning and I go through it myself, we're light in areas that I don't believe we can be light in as an international setup. So for me, it's who's the high potential? Who do we see being able to come into that area that can have an effect? Maybe not right now, sorry. But in the future can really progress in that area and leave us in a real position, then we focus on the next group. I believe that's so important for us. That's why I always like having a group of high potential who I feel have a real chance of really being top players for the country. So involve them now, get them used to the environment, get them used to see how we work. And yeah, ideally you want the best players playing, and I mean that as in, everyone available who you pick, you have a full group, but it's never the case. It's never been the case since I've been here. So I understand it. I understood it when I was playing as well, that it was never that simple. I probably understand more now what managers go through, especially when games happen on a weekend and games happen midweek. You're always on the edge of your phone. So yeah, you just get used to it. I've got another weekend to get through now, so yeah, it's
yeah. So what will this weekend be like for you? What's the setup that you'll have?
Honestly, and that's where I'll name a squad, and of course, we do these interviews, but that squad might not be that squad by come Sunday. So instead of I just try and just go with it as well as I can. I always have an idea if we lose this, or try and really plan for every position that this one then comes through. And there's been one or two boys maybe just missed out, but they're not far away. And if that one moves, then that one moves in. And there's also one or two that we haven't quite seen before that are not far away either. That might even be moved again, So it leaves me quite excited as well, because when well, I've got to be creative then. So you're always on the edge, but at the same time, mentally, I go through 3 stages with it. Okay. First, I'm like not happy, really not happy. Then I'm okay. Okay, what's that? And then by the evening, I'm good. This is where we are. So, yeah, my partner is in for a rough day.
Can I ask you, who's the first person that you'll ring? You know, say if there is a problem or an injury, who's the first person?
No, I usually get the phone call.
Okay.
I usually wait for it. So physio will ring me straight away. And when I see his phone call, I'm like, I know what's happening. And I'm like, usually my first words are not quite pleasant when I answer. But it's basically, go on then, tell me. So it's nice when he's like, okay, it's all good, don't worry. Yeah, and I'm like, but yeah, so it's a head physio, Sean. And then he gets my rant for a little bit, and then we move on.
Kazakhstan to come, Craig, you've been asked a lot about the logistics,
Yeah.
the travel. I think it's 6,000 miles round trip,
Yeah.
something like that. To put you and the team aside, I think there are over 1,000 fans making the crazy journey out there. I know a lot of them have left already. Yeah. That's how long it takes to get there. How much do you appreciate, you know, because it's, the travelling fans are always special, but to go somewhere as far as this.
Yeah, and we've never been there before, so it's, you know, we don't have experiences to draw back on from other camps as well, so it's new for us, but it's good. But to have, like, you know, 1,000 fans being able to make that journey is, I do not know how, honestly. I think there's one who left about a month ago.
Yeah, there is.
We're trying to find that out, yeah, so we got to see him because it means so much to us. And even if you, like, I got to be honest, I'm beyond proud of that fact. You know, when we went North Macedonia and you see it's like, so many Welsh shirts there, and then Belgium was just like incredible.
I think half of Wales was
It was incredible. That's all I seen. It was all I seen, and it's just so it's so lifting for everyone, and to see how they all get on with each other as well. They're like their own group as well. They look after each other, and the amount of emails we get sent back from the nation who just hosted us. Thanking us for the behaviour of them and how they conduct themselves. That's like, it's so important. And it's just like, you know, I try not to look too far ahead. Sometimes I can't help that. But imagine we get to this tournament in the summer. It's like, yeah. Imagine we can be us as well, you know. You know, they're them, how they behave, well behaved, but they enjoy themselves. We want to play like that. We want to play like, you know, we're well behaved, like we work hard, but we enjoy ourselves when we play. So I see a resemblance, and I want to be that, what they set. I want our team to be that as well.
The last couple from me. It's been nearly 12 months exactly since your first game in charge, Craig. What's been the highlight so far? What's been the best bit?
First game was amazing. A few hours before kick-off, was like, what have I put myself into? I don't know what to expect here. I don't know how the game's going to go. You know, we were up against a talented team, but even halfway through that first half, it's like, yeah, I knew we could play like this. I knew it. So many people say what you can't do, but I knew this could be possible. And being able to watch us grow, and even like Liechtenstein at home, like I was like, wow. And I know we are expected to win. We expected to win. It wasn't, but it was the manner and how we were able to do it. That work ethic without the ball, where we don't really have to be. The way they were able to set the tone and that, their reactions, like Liechtenstein couldn't get up the field. They couldn't even get a pass because we were just on top of them straight away. And I love that about a team. I really do. And against a lesser team where sometimes, you know, you can take your foot off, and like we weren't. We had no interest in it. And that left me with like, this is a real team. This is a team that are focused. They're ready. Yeah, I'd say the Belgium was a whirlwind. But I would say actually even now like you've put the thought into my head. But even before the game in our meeting, that was probably one of the most emotional times I've got with him. It was because when I played, I never had that belief against the top teams. People might say he's critical, but I knew our goalkeeper was going to have the best game ever. I knew we were going to be in pain, we were going to defend in deep, and if we got a counter-attack and maybe scored and hung on, it was going to be that type. That's how we're only going to win against these type of nations. And it was hard to play in. And you might get the odd win against a top nation every now and then, but living like that, like you're going to lose 8 out of 10, say, for instance. But to be able to come here as a manager, to have that belief I never had as a player, because I had hope. Now, I do like hope, trust me, when it's all, dead and buried, hope's a nice thing to have, but also hope can kill you. It hurts. But when you have serious belief, real belief, I was beyond grateful for that, and I thank them for it. For the first time, I feel we can come to a top nation, and I honestly believe we can come here and play them off the park and win. And I'm grateful for you for giving me that, because I never had that as a player. But I have that as a coach because of you. So that was probably after the circle of that year. I was really grateful for that, and really, and I hold that as well, so yeah, that was probably most memorable.
Last one, you mentioned belief. Is that the message now as we're going into the second half and the final part of this World Cup qualifying campaign? Yeah,
we're halfway through it, and I think we have to believe what we've seen so far. Now, we still know it's a lot of hard work, and there's going to have to be one or two things that go our way. But I honestly believe in the way we play, in the team, in the coaches, everyone associated with us. I feel we all believe. And I believe the fans do as well. And I feel that was tested, even being 3-0 down against Belgium. They were still there. And they were still singing. I don't know if they believed then, but they were okay.
Yeah.
And that gives you a chance. So for us, it's so important that we keep that, and we will. And anything's possible then. Anything's possible, because we're a good team. We're a really good team. And definitely Belgium seen that. And even the messaging, even speaking to one or two Belgian players after the game who I know quite well, that was the first thing that came out of their head. They come out of their mouths. It's like, you're such a good team. And I knew. I said, yeah, we are. So, we have to have belief, because we've proved, and what we've seen so far, we've got a really good chance of this.
Great, diolch. We'll see you in Kazakhstan.
See you then, yeah. Look forward to it.